Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you agree that it would be cool to talk about your experience in the bar on Friday night as a Superman? Agree? Yeah, but I never been a Superman before, of course. I was a ranger officer back in Taiwan. I think it would be the closest I've been like a Superman before. But it was also known as the tortured man. Today, I like to tell you the frequent asked question in the bar that those are. The first question I got asked most is, why do you join the Ranger? What's wrong with you, right? I joined the Ranger because I want to set up an experiment to figure out how much torture I can take before I quit, right? So I joined the Ranger. The other reason is Taiwan is a conscription country, so every man in a military age has to join the service. And the second question is, who are Rangers, right? It would be familiar for us military guys to know what is Rangers. Rangers are basically an elite airborne light infantry unit. Well, that sounds like rocket science for civilians, because what's airborne mean? What is light infantry? Well, like many professionals in the hospitals, they are surgeons specialized different kind of operations. In the military, we have different units specialized in different operations. For us, Rangers, we are specialized in airborne, which means we can deploy it by plane, air assault, we can deploy it by helicopters, and mountain warfare, which is basically we are trained to conduct operation in difficult terrains. But those two are fairly easy questions to answer. The third question is the most exciting one, because it is so hard to become one. So my friend would ask, well, that's cool, but how to become a Ranger, right? To become a Ranger is by no means very hard. You have to earn your Ranger tab. In order to earn it, you have to pass 3 phases of training. The first one is we call it airborne training. It is the most easy one, as you can imagine, because we are just simply asked to jump off the airplane, right? Is that easy enough? You just follow the order and jump off, right? But for me, it is a training about following orders, because you have to risk your life to trust your equipment and your training. So we all know, during the training, we all know that the work jump, as we call it, the military parachute, is very safe, because if you have the proper training, you know what you're doing, and your equipment are set up properly, you won't die for jumping off the airplane. But everybody afraid of heights, including me. It's not an easy thing to do, right? To jump off the airplane. So we are trained on the ground before we go to we load it on the airplane. We're basically training on the tower. At first, we train to jump off the tower. Of course, there are strings to prevent us from just dead. So if we pass the ground training, we are qualified to get on the plane and jump off it. The second phase of the training is very interesting, because it is not actually an official training list on the papers. We also called it like pre-Ranger School training. It is a weird name, right? The reason for this training is, in the early years, the Army find out that the injury rate is too high for the Ranger School. Almost 2/3 of the soldiers who go through the Ranger School's training drop out because of physically or mentally injured. So in order to filter out the unqualified ones, we have a separate training before we go to Ranger School. It is basically, we separate the soldier who volunteer to join the Ranger rank from their unit and train them physically day and night for 6 weeks. So the training is focused on your physical strength and your stamina. It is relatively easy comparing to the Ranger School because you can still get 8 hours sleep a day and you still get proper meals during the day. So I would consider it rather not difficult, but not easy either. The final step of becoming a ranger is also the most exciting one. The Ranger School. It sounds just really manly, right? So the Ranger School is, we're trained in a high altitude Ranger School in Taiwan. It is basically on a remote mountain of Taiwan. The reason on a high altitude because we get trained in the mountains, right? But it is really difficult because, let's say, before I joined the Ranger, I was told the Ranger School is has the most equipped and the best and the state-of-the-art torture camp for the armies. It's really, it is pure torture because the altitude is so high that basically just running feels different there because the oxygen level is lower on the sea level. So we are trained for obstacle course, like mountain warfare. We have to train in combat during the course. We are on very average, we get only 4 hours of sleep a day, and we consume like 2,000 calories a day. It is hard to remember because most of the times you don't remember. You just for now I only remember the torture and the pain. So let me put this there. So it is always nice to have something to talk about on Friday night, especially your military experience. But everyone wants to be a ranger in Friday night, but not everyone wants to be a ranger on Monday morning. No one would willing to take the risk and the training to become a ranger. I never thought I can do it, but I'm glad that I passed all 3. Thank you.